Alrighty, look at there. We're coming to you on Independence Day, July 4th, right here from the Frat House with our 96th straight week of 5 minutes at the Frat House, brought to you by Frat House Sports with Frat House Mike and Sidekick. And you know, we've said we have never missed a single week without a new show. How about this one? We're even coming to you on a national holiday right here. We are broadcasting right now on July 4th, the middle of the afternoon, right here. Yeah, hey, everybody else gets a day off. We don't take a day off.
No,
we don't take a week off.
During the show.
Why the heck not? Absolutely. Here's the evidence, though, that we don't take a day off. But we do have a great barbecue to get to here, Sidekick, and I understand it's going to be thanks to one of your culinary specialties that you brought to us. What's on the menu for today?
We're going to have St. Louis pork steaks with my dad's barbecue recipe made with Mike's favorite Budweiser.
There you go. There you go. All right.
Good times.
We're looking for, and these steaks, by the way, came all the way directly from
St. Louis, yes.
When you were just out there just a couple of weeks ago.
Brought
them back.
Duffel bag full of pork steaks.
Duffel bag. Other people are smuggling other things. He's smuggling pork steaks. How do you like that one?
So I did, I did my 45-day body transformation weight loss contest. That ended yesterday.
So to hell with that. Throw it out the window.
30 pounds I lost. I'm putting on today.
Today is Sidekick's Thanksgiving.
Let's go have a ham sandwich.
Listen, forget the ham sandwiches.
We're having pork steaks, man.
Listen,
well, I don't know about you guys, but I need a drink.
Yeah, well, we're going to have a few of those. With all that on our menu, we might just move through today's show a bit quicker than normal. I don't know. We'll see, huh? We'll see whether that happens.
I don't know. I may get long-winded.
Listen, let's get right to it. And let's start it off with something we haven't looked at in the past few weeks. And that's some NHRA action. And specifically, let's go take a look at the leaderboard because we haven't taken a look at that in the past couple of weeks as we've missed some coverage. Incredibly, as of last week, we've had 12 nationals now under our belt, just 6 remaining in the season before the countdown to the championship. It kind of works a little bit like NASCAR, where there's a regular season and then we have other nationals there after the fact.
Season.
Exactly. So since we looked last, where do we stand at this point? Well, over in the Top Fuel dragster division, not many changes in our absence. Tony Schumacher continues to stay atop the list, just 37 points ahead of Sean Langdon. Last year's champion, Antron Brown, sits currently in 4th, 208 points out of first. Oof. Remember, I said only 6 nationals remaining at this point right now. In the funny car division, Matt Hagan way out in front right now, 106 points ahead of Cruz Pedregon. But look here, 15-time champion John Force is in 3rd right now, 142 points out of first, still has a shot at it. And finally, in Pro Stock, it's been Mike Edwards all year long, 128 points ahead of Jeg Coughlin. Just like us, though, no holiday for the NHRA drivers as they are heading to Norwalk, Ohio for the Summit Racing Equipment Nationals. And we'll get back to bringing you the standings in NHRA more regularly as we actually count it down. We're going to start counting down to the championship as well and the conclusion of their regular season. All right, let's not stop there. How about a bit more motorsports action with our 17th race of the NASCAR season last Saturday? Correction, let's make that Sunday, huh? As Saturday got postponed due to the weather down at the Kentucky Speedway. And there were probably some drivers, I would think, Sidekick, that would have liked this race to get delayed even a bit longer, a.k.a. how about Brad Keselowski, who was knocked out of the race in a red flag wreck in lap 49. How about 182-lap leader Jimmy Johnson was probably also praying for another rain delay stoppage at some point. As in the end, well, Matt Kenseth, our Sprint Cup victories leader at this point right now, well, he got himself another checkered.
Yep.
His 4th of the season, which put him above Jimmy Johnson in everything but the leaderboard. Others who came in the top 5 at Kentucky included, hey, how about good job to Jamie McMurray coming in 2nd.
Yep, Jamie Mack, yeah.
Clint Boyer, another top 5.
Mark should be jumping up and he should be
exactly.
ecstatic.
What's that, his 6th? It's got to be 5th or 6th. We'll see it on the board in a moment. In 3rd, Joey Logano came in 4th, and Kyle Busch, another top 5 for Kyle as well. All right, now let's take a look at that leaderboard, because now we're starting to get to the time of the season where we only have about 9 races left, and things are going to start to, well, maybe not move as much, but become that much more important. No changes again this week on the leaderboard. Jimmy Johnson still at number 1, Carl Edwards number 2, Clint Boyer number 3, Kevin Harvick number 4, and Matt Kenseth number 5. This is where it gets interesting, though.
Yeah, I know. Say, all the changes are 6th through 10.
Right. And this is where it's going to get right. And this is where it's going to get interesting, and that's where I want to move to you, because we got our movers and our losers.
Yep.
And there were quite a few movers and quite a few losers, and a couple of those in a moment I want to talk about. So what do we got? What do we got going on there on the leaderboard below 5?
Well, the biggest losers this week are brought to you by Kyle Busch, or I'm sorry, Kurt Busch.
For a moment, I thought you had a sponsor. I was getting excited.
We did, Kurt Busch. And Furniture Row Racing.
Please,
Our biggest losers are Brad Keselowski, who dropped 4 spots due to the wreck, the crash. And then also Greg Biffle, who dropped 3 spots because he was involved in that accident as well. He got caught up in that. And our biggest movers of the week are Joey, can I get some respect now, Logano, who moved up 4 spots. And surprise, surprise, Kurt Busch moved up 3 spots.
Is Joey getting any respect yet, really?
No.
Okay, all right.
And then also just Martin Truex Jr. over the last 3 weeks has shot up 9 spots. He's in the top 10 now.
Right. Now, I mentioned before we went into that there were a couple of drivers that I wanted to touch on, and in particular, let me start it off. We've talked a lot about somebody that we've talked a lot about this season. That's Denny Hamlin.
Yeah.
There was an article out the other day that didn't necessarily say that Hamlin was mathematically out of it, but it certainly painted a non-contending picture. I think it was a story over on Fox Sports.
Yeah.
Hamlin himself in the article was quoted as saying, we're just going to try to win races, and that's what my job is for the rest of the season, is to try to win and do the best I can for my sponsors and my team. That certainly sounded like the words of somebody, exactly, who has kind of chalked it in himself.
I was actually, that was one of the points I was going to bring up is, he can still get in it.
Absolutely.
But you can tell from his demeanor now that he's kind of conceded and said, you know what, we're going to do the best we can through the rest of the season, try some stuff, maybe swing for the fences a couple times, but
Does Denny Hamlin become tantamount to that golfer that lays up at this point right now, where in other words, he's really not going to go out and give it his all, but hey, if I get a top 10, if I get a couple of top 5s, I'll be happy, but I'm not going to push it?
Well, I think you're going to see him taking more risks.
Oh, really? Well, you think it would actually go the opposite?
Well, no. I mean, as far as if he's going to concede the season at this point,
right?
And he's just going to race. You may see him. Some racers, as you get closer to the chase, they get a little bit more. What's the word I'm looking for? A little more tame.
Okay.
Just trying. Laying back, taking the sure bets, not really rocking the boat too much, because they're in the chase and they just want to get there. You know what I mean?
Sure.
If there's not like Jimmy Johnson.
But he's got nothing, if in fact in his own mind, he's got nothing to necessarily race for, except just to collect the checks, keep the car safe, don't wreck it too badly, because the sponsors are only going to have to put the money out to repair it, then wouldn't it just be tantamount to, like I said, just putting a layup on a...
Yeah, but you may see him take some other risks or gamble sometimes on something, because he's got that, hey, we're going to go for the win. I'm not saying he's going to go out there and he's going to be aggressive, and stuff like that. But I mean, he's going to roll the dice now a little bit more, maybe on the pit stops. The 4 tires versus 2 tires and different things like. They're going to do some experimentation and see what they can get out of the car, because this is the first year they're on the Gen 6 car.
One of the reasons I ask you these questions is because obviously we're going to be looking at you in a couple of moments for your fantasy suggestions. Right. And my thinking is this somebody that we would want to seriously consider throwing on a fantasy roster at this point, particularly in light of those kinds of comments?
No, absolutely. There's going to be tracks coming up. You're going to want Denny Hamlin on that roster.
Okay. All right.
Okay, and just so you know, we've got 9 races left. Hamlin has won at 5 of the 9 remaining tracks.
Okay, very good.
Okay,
so
he's won twice at New Hampshire, 3 times at Pocono, and twice at his home track in Richmond. 9 of his 22 victories have come off those tracks. So that's almost 50%. So
and you think that he'll actually be going out on those tracks and giving it his all, trying to get a checker?
Absolutely.
Okay,
He's a competitor.
All right.
He may sound.
I like the guy.
Sound like a lame duck.
Right.
Where he's kind of in that defeated mode. But don't
rule him out. Don't rule him out.
I move for no man.
There you go.
So
listen, the other one I want to bring up real quick to you, defending Sprint Cup champion Brad Keselowski. Currently, right now, 13th in the points. I think you brought up he was one of the losers.
I think 9th or
4 spots.
Yep.
He dropped
now
4.
Out,
right. He dropped 4 spots this week. He's 145 points behind the leader, Jimmy Johnson. Still no wins this season.
Yep.
This is the lowest standing right now for Brad since April of last year. Mm-hmm. Now, a recent USA Today article suggested that Keselowski may just wreck himself out of the chase. All right, thoughts on Keselowski at this point? Again, as I pointed out, the leaderboard is reflecting to us not many changes, but we're getting at that point in time in the season where it's, we only got 9 races left. What has Keselowski got to do here? I mean, he's dropping like a stone. In fact, the past couple of weeks, what's the best finish we've seen? 30-something.
Yeah. Here's the thing with Brad Keselowski. You know what's hurting him? He's got no wins this year.
Right.
That's what's hurting him. If he had a win, he would have kicked Tony Stewart out of that second wild card spot.
Mm-hmm.
Because let me go back to my notes here because we didn't touch on the wild cards. The wild cards right now are Casey Kane in 11th and Tony Stewart in 16th.
Right.
He dropped the spot because he finished so bad. He's going the wrong way. You got to be in the top 20 and a win to qualify for the wild card. If he keeps going at the pace he's going to find himself out of the chase.
Right.
Because if he keeps dropping, he's going to wind up outside top 20.
What's your gut feeling on this at this point now? I mean, the season has kind of gotten away from us a little bit, where everybody, I think, kind of has thought, okay, Brad's going to come around. Brad's going to come around. Now we're sitting here. We're in early July. We're 9 races out before the chase, and everybody's sitting there going, oh, my God, where the hell is Brad Keselowski?
Well, here's the problem that I see with Brad. Brad, over the 10 races, I'm going to include Kentucky.
Right.
Okay, over the 10 races, the best chance that Keselowski had was at Kentucky last week, and he blew it. Now, granted, he didn't blow it.
Yeah.
Kurt was involved.
Right.
And that's kind of that's the trickiness with NASCAR. It's not completely your own doing. Somebody can take you out, as we saw last week, and now all of a sudden, Keselowski's on the outside looking in.
Yep.
When that was his best chance to get a win and cement himself in the chase.
Right.
Because if he got that win, I don't think we'd be talking about Keselowski now.
I agree with you.
If he bobbled a little bit.
It wouldn't have been on the agenda. You're absolutely right.
Well, I don't think we talk about him over the next 9 races if he had that win. Because he could drop down and he'd still be ahead of Tony Stewart.
Right.
So, Brad's got some work to do.
It's go time. It's go time.
Yeah, he's got to get a win.
And Daytona, I don't know if is the best place for him at this point right now. And that's where we're heading this week. Our second visit of the season to the Daytona International Speedway. Coverage of that you can pick up on Saturday evening now, folks. That's nighttime racing again. Hopefully, no rain delays. At Daytona, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT.
Terrible NASCAR television.
But here we go. This is our crapshoot time, right, Sidekick? I mean, big restrictor plate track, drafting, monster wrecks that can just destroy your entire team right before your very eyes. What do you suggest for it this week? Particularly like guys like myself who are like on the bubble. Well, on the bubble, I'm way below. I'm like 11th, I think.
Well, to steal a phrase.
Never mind. Go ahead.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Roll the dice. We're going restrictor plate racing this weekend. So, all right. So let's get to who we're going to pick this week. It's going to be a little bit of Groundhog Day here, as I say. Remember last week when I said, duh, it's Jimmy friggin' Johnson? Well,
duh, it's friggin' Johnson.
First one on the list again. Duh, it's Jimmy friggin' Johnson. He swept top 5s on restrictor plate tracks this year.
Okay.
So, and he usually runs well. $28, little pricey. But we're gonna, you know, it's go time. We're gonna start swinging for the fences.
Right.
We're gonna throw Kyle Busch in. Kyle Busch is first in driver rating, first in quality passes, and first in laps in the top 15, which are all categories for NASCAR points, the fantasy points. Also, he's pretty decent on restrictor plate tracks.
Okay.
He's 2750. We're going to throw last week's winner, Matt Kenseth, who swept top 10s at Daytona last year.
Yeah.
Winning the Daytona 500 last year,
Right.
was running really well this year until he blew a motor. Toyota has said, you know, remember a couple of weeks back, they
we
had
were
all
talking
those
about it.
problems with
Right, we
the
were talking
motors
about it.
blowing.
Right.
They've gone back, they've done some re-engineering on the motors, they've tuned down the motors a little bit so that they're more dependable. So look for Matt Kenseth this weekend.
Okay.
He is 2775. Just writing checks. Then we're going to round out with David Reagan, who won Talladega this year.
Okay.
Runs fairly well on restrictor plate tracks, and he's only 875.
Okay.
And then just to fill out the roster, we're going to throw Terry Labonte on there. He's 775. That squeaks your roster in at 99.75.
All
25
right.
cents to spare.
There you go, folks.
Go get some bubble gum.
There you go, folks. That's what we got for this week.
Yep.
Daytona, Saturday night. That should be fun.
Under the lights.
Today is the last day for fan voting for the All-Star Game, Major League Baseball All-Star Game.
Yep.
So, suggestion, if you haven't stuffed the ballot box enough yet, make sure you take some time to get over today to MLB.com and put all those guys in that, well, I won't say they shouldn't be there, but if you're stuffing the ballot box on the last night, they probably shouldn't be there. But go ahead. In the meantime,
I put all 45 of my votes on Yachty.
In the meantime, though, we have a couple of all-star teams to mention here as we look through the current standings, and let's go take a look at those. Over in the American League, Boston Red Sox are still 3.5 games ahead of now the Baltimore Orioles, coming off a terrific last weekend sweep of the New York Yankees, the Orioles were. In the Central, the Detroit Tigers are just a half game in front of the Cleveland Indians. That continues to be a very competitive division. And in the West, well, now it's the Oakland A's this week on top, gone ahead of the Texas Rangers, just a half game in front of them. In the National League, the Atlanta Braves are 7 games in front of the Washington Nationals. It would seem that Atlanta is just kind of now starting to put that thing into gear and run away with it. But my goodness, the Pittsburgh Pirates have to be the story of Major League Baseball in the past probably, what, 2.5 weeks. Best record in baseball at this point, 9-1 in their last 10, and now 2 games in front of the St. Louis Cardinals in the Central. Where in the world did the Pittsburgh Pirates come from? And in the West, the Arizona Diamondbacks are 2.5 games in front of the Colorado Rockies. What do you make of those Pirates?
Dude. Where did they come from? Where did they come from? They're, you know, it's like the other, you know, the other year when the Cardinals won the World Series,
little bit.
You know, they went on that run.
But the Cardinals came in late in the season. This is
this is a little bit
we're not
sooner,
even, you know.
but, you know, we'll see if they, you know, if they've got it to hold the distance.
Wow. Alrighty.
So.
It's time again for Frat House Mike's Screwball Stories.
Well, the stories today are, well, a little bit shocking. There's one there that's a little bit disappointing. One there that's kind of cute. Oh, and we're back on. Yeah,
we don't do cute.
All right, you're right. We don't do cute.
Come on.
All right, but we are back on the Manny Watch. We're back on the Manny Watch here at the Frat House.
Some not so surprising.
Let's kick it off with this one. This one is kind of the shocking one a little bit. This past Sunday, residents of Cuba, well known as some of the most ravenous baseball fans in the entire world, were treated to something they haven't seen since 1961. Yeah, you doing the math?
5 minutes at the Frat House?
That would be nice, yeah. Well, you can get, well, I guess they can get that, I'm not sure. But hey, if you're doing the math real quick, 1961, that was 52 years ago. What did they get? They got themselves a fully covered and broadcasted American Major League Baseball game. This was the first time since the days of tensions between Kennedy and Castro that Cubans were able to see a Major League Baseball game broadcast over their airwaves into their living rooms via their televisions.
Wow, 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 wow.
You know, I was just getting, in the infamous words of one Oprah Winfrey, wow, I was just thinking that.
Let me tell you, many of the Cubans down there were actually repeating her sentiment there. Wow, wow, wow. Because oddly enough, though, what was rebroadcast of the game, it was a game between the Washington Nationals and the Atlanta Braves, played on May 2nd.
I was going to say, was it the Astros from the National League?
Yeah, really, from a couple of years ago? Cuba believes in taking baby steps. We're going to take baby steps, you know. Bring you a baseball game. Haven't brought you one in 52 years. Look, it's only 2 months old.
It was on TiVo.
All right. You know, it's kind of a sad thing here. It seems we just can't talk about baseball without also mentioning drug use.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines.
Yeah, well, that might have been the response from one umpire. Now comes a word we even need to be concerned about the officials in baseball. It was reported the other day that 43-year-old umpire Brian Runge was dismissed for a drug violation. Now, it was not reported what drug substance was discovered during testing. I can't imagine it was performance enhancement. Has anybody ever seen Runge? But I can't imagine it was that.
So you're saying he may have been hitting a little bit of
had
some munchies,
maybe doing, you know, some nose candy. This was the...
Not the nose candy reference.
Am I dating myself? This was the first time, believe it or not, in Major League Baseball history that an umpire was removed for any other reason aside from injury, and the first time, actually, that an umpire has been replaced at all in the last 13 years.
Just goes to prove, no matter how bad you are, we won't get rid of you. Smoke something, snort something,
yeah, but maybe they
shoot
just weren't
something, you're gone.
Runge has been umpiring in the big leagues since 1999. No more now, though. Oof. Yeah, I don't know. Why?
I don't know.
Baseball?
Party
Baseball?
like it's 1999.
Now, here's our feel-good screwy story for the week. New York Yankees great Mariano Rivera is currently on his retirement tour. Now, knowing this, Minnesota Twins manager Ron Gardenhire, well, he decided to get creative with a retirement gift for Rivera. The team commissioned the construction of an old wood granny-style rocker. You'd like this.
I would.
Except this one was assembled from, are you ready? It was assembled from broken bats. Are you ready? Specifically ones that were victims of Rivera's cutter. So all of the bats that were broken here, you can see they're broken right there, off of pitches from Rivera. In formally presenting the chair to Rivera, they referenced it as the chair of broken dreams. I thought that was really cute.
That's freaking awesome.
I think it was great. I thought that was just fabulous.
That's
Good job
awesome.
to Mariano Rivera, and wonderful to the Minnesota Twins for coming up with that idea. All right, let's get on to our Manny Watch, because we seem to have a fixation here with the movement and frequent foibles of one Manny Ramirez. And as I pointed out, the Manny Watch is back on again. We reported here 2 weeks ago that Manny had mysteriously been removed or disappeared from the roster of the Taiwanese team, the EDA Rhinos. After wowing the fans of that team,
Say, some of those video clips, it looked like he was a rhino, all right.
Sliding in the second. Okay. Rumors were he was heading to Japan. We had surmised perhaps maybe that was because of the juiced baseballs there. Well, here's what we know. Now we know where he is. Manny has appeared back on the roster, believe it or not, of a major league team. This time the AAA Round Rock team, an affiliate of the Texas Rangers. Now, you might remember that we reported, because we've been on the Manny Watch, it feels like forever here. You might remember that we reported the woeful performance of Ramirez had last season playing for the Oakland A's AAA team before being released after just 17 games. Now, his previous Taiwanese experience that he's just gone through is frequently compared to playing with, well, maybe a major league single A team. So I don't know how this is all going to translate. We'll see how this works out.
I was going to say, is that his rehab assignment?
Yeah, really.
Good God.
But guess what? Stay tuned, because if anybody's going to be on the Manny Watch, it's going to be Frat House. We're going to be there.
Who does that? Who has time?
Believe it or not, Manny, we are pulling for you.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go put some Manny steaks out on the grill tonight.
All right, listen, before we get out of baseball, let's go take a look at, hey, another in our frequent 5 minutes outside the Frat House, which came last Sunday.
From Veteran Stadium.
No, it did not. You're going to confuse everybody. Veteran Stadium, no kidding.
Yeah.
Veteran Stadium doesn't exist, folks. Okay? It came last Sunday when Sidekick and I took a visit to the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum up in Cooperstown, New York. And yes, those are actually seats that came from the old Veterans Stadium. And there we were there right there at the... I found the whole place just fascinating. It was wonderful.
Can't wait to go back.
Yeah, we are actually, because we didn't have enough time. You really don't have enough time. I mean, we had like, what,
For
3.5 hours.
we were every display we were like kids in a candy shop.
And you know, you have to read it all, you know, and there's just not enough time to go through everything.
We
So
need
have to go back.
another day just to go through the museum again, and then some of the other sites that are in Cooperstown.
Yep.
That we didn't even get to.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yep.
we spent 5 minutes at the.
We spent more time on the outside on the side of the turnpike.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say we spent 5 minutes
out on the way back.
5 minutes at the water ice place. We spent 15 minutes at the pizza place.
Oh.
You know, there's a burger shop. There's
Yeah, you found the pizza place. It was a great time. Cooperstown is a beautiful little town if you get a chance to go there. But I'll tell you something, Americana all the way down the line, right there, they've captured it.
Yeah, literally, you pull into Cooperstown and you're like in Midtown America, like Leave It to Beaver.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're
what
looking
was that movie where everything went black and white? What was that? Oh, God. Oh, I forget the name of that movie. God, what was it? What was it? Pleasantville. Pleasantville, that was it. Pleasantville. There you go.
But it was just...
That was Cooperstown, Pleasantville.
It was amazing.
Except it was in colors, thankfully. All right, let's go real quick. Let's go take a look at our Frat House Sports Facebook post of the week, and it had a hockey flavor, which means, Sidekick, you can comment on this now.
Well, I was going to say, you know, I got the you know the
you got hockey
show
news?
listing.
You got hockey news?
No, you sent the roster, you know, the topics for the week, and there was no NHL, and I'm like, you know, I can talk about NHL all you want now.
It's July,
and there's
man.
No NHL.
It's July.
None. Yeah, but we got LeCavalier.
The guy's all pent up. He's all pent up. He's wanted to talk about hockey. It's obvious he wanted to talk about hockey, and he couldn't be able to do it.
I could talk about hockey.
He had to keep his mouth shut. Now he wants to talk about hockey, and there ain't nothing to
What
talk
we got
about.
here is a failure to communicate.
Oh. All right, let's get to that.
We got some grilling to get to.
We just want pork steaks at this point. Let's get to the post. It came the other evening when I posted about the Philadelphia Flyers acquiring 33-year-old former Tampa Bay Lightning captain Vinny LeCavalier, and I associated the story with a comment. The Philadelphia Flyers signed 33-year-old Vinny LeCavalier to a 5-year deal worth $20+ million. While everyone in Philly seems excited about this one, I'm reserving judgment for the moment. And there I am reserving judgment, I will tell you right now.
Hey, you're not the only one. I don't trust any personnel move that any Philly team makes.
Whoa.
I don't care if you're the Eagles, the 76ers, the Union. I don't trust any move any team in Philly makes. I'm sorry.
There's something screwy around here.
Well, I'm concerned only because I look at it, I look at the age, and I'm looking at the amount of money. Anyhow, that post got the most views and generated quite a bit of comment, and that's what we like to see over on our Facebook page. So keep that sort of thing coming. Keep the post coming over on the Frat House Sports Facebook page, please. All right? All right, real quick, we'll run around. Independence Day, and we will thank so many of our friends that have supported us over the year. How about Fan Junkies? FanJunkies.net, where sports meets social networking. Make sure you get out there, check them out. It's Facebook, just for sports geeks like us.
And that's what women want.
And that right, exactly. They want Fan Junkies Radio. That's what they want. Jonathan and I, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Blog Talk Radio. Look it up, 12 noon Eastern time. All right, great stuff over there.
Yep. Save yourself some money. Skip the oysters and the clams and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Just turn on, skip the soft music. Just put on the Fan Junkies Radio.
And
there you go.
What happens? They melt? Never mind.
Who does that?
Then,
Who has time?
We've got Sports Blogger Radio for our Boston sports fans.
Yep.
All right, on Thursdays on Fan Junkies Radio Network. Got to check them out. Scott and John coming to you from Boston, talking all the Boston sports, and then the Boston stuff, and then myself on Frat House Saturdays, rebroadcasting everything we do right here. CLW83.com. Many thanks to my good buddies Jim and Carl down there for all the help they're giving us here at Frat House Sports, and in particular, my attempt personally at getting out. I put in a video, as you well know, to 97.5 The Fanatic to become one of their new voices for a year-long possibility over on 97.5 The Fanatic right here in Philadelphia. Submitted them a video. And it looks like we're doing fairly well. Many thanks to Jim and to Carl for all the help they have given me and us right here at the Frat House.
Make my day.
Thank you very much. We appreciate everything you've done.
Go to the links for 97.5 and do his video. Click the like, watch it, comment it on. This guy is the most passionate guy I know in Philadelphia. You're not going to find another fan more passionate. That's why we do this show.
You're right.
So
thank you. I appreciate that. But and listen, to find those links, the best thing to do, just go over to our Facebook page, Frat House Sports. Give it a like if you haven't already. And you'll find all those links, and you'll be able to get to the links to the 97.5 Fanatic Dream Job, which is what I submitted for. And thank you. I appreciate that.
Don't just like the updates that we post. You have
to actually go to the link and then give it the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button for liking Mike from Eagleville. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And then last but not least, make sure you're checking us out over on FratHouseSports.net. Almost a year long strong, we're going over there with our own website. All right? Hey, listen, we wish everybody the very, very best 4th of July. Keep yourself safe. Have a good time. Obviously, you can see we are right here. One more thing I'm going to ask you to do. Keep us real, keep us live, and keep us going. We'll see you next week. See you then.